Sachi, whenever you're ready.
It's done.
YouTube live started?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm admitting everyone.
अभी तू चुप रहेगी तो क्या तो बोलेगा 4 बार तेरे को ताली से दोनों हाथ बजता है ना तो ताली से दोनों हाथ बजता है ना
वही जो
कभी एक हाथ
Good evening to one and all present here. We welcome you to the MBBS Life, a roadmap to becoming great doctors. I'm Rotractor Meg Nagwekar, Vice President of RC Medicrew, and with me are my colleagues Rotractor Alekha Bhalerao, Rotractor Prerita Mittal, and Rotractor Kunal Shah, along with Rotractor Pratyush Kumar. Now you must be wondering, what is this RC Medicrew on your screens? RC Medicrew is the Rotrac Club of Medicrew. We're an internationally recognized healthcare-based club. We're currently the world's #1, that's the world's largest community-based club. Essentially, when a student joins a medical college, be it MBBS, physiotherapy, BDS, veterinary, or audio and visual sciences, when a student joins a healthcare-based club, a healthcare-based college, he or she joins RC Medicrew. This is a custom that has been going on since a long time. And if you ask your seniors or the institutional ambassadors in your college, they would be telling you how RC Medicrew makes your MBBS journey much more dynamic. Now, first of all, welcome to MBBS. And the topics that we'll be covering today are exams and CBME curriculum, subjects and books to be used, fests and trips in MBBS. I think a lot of you are really excited for that one. And approaching competitive exams like USMLE, the PLAB, and NEXT. Moving on. Now, what exactly is Rotrac Club of Medicrew? The Rotrac Club of Medicrew is a charter non-profit organization. Our motto is leading with healthcare through adversity to the stars. As you can see, we're the world's #1 community-based club with over 2,000 members. We have members all over India and in countries abroad. I now hand on to Rotractor Alekha Bhalerao.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Rotractor Alekha Bhalerao, and I know that no one wants to hear anyone speak about exams or the curriculum right now, but bear with me. I'll wrap it up fast and don't fall asleep, okay? Next. Next. Okay, so I'm going to start with the disclaimer, which is that if you have siblings or friends who joined MBBS before 2019, they've probably had a different course than the one you're going to join right now. So I'll let you know everything that's different, but just letting you know it's not going to be the same. Okay, so what is the curriculum that you have right now? It's called CBME, which stands for Competency-Based Medical Education. Nothing to scare you. It basically is just it's the same curriculum, but it's very, very application-based, which means that in your exams, if you have a question on a certain disease, they're not going to give you the name of the disease. They're going to give you the symptoms and they're going to give you lab findings, and you're going to have to reach that differential on your own. It means, but it also means a lot of good things, like you get to go to clinics very early. So in our first year, we got to go to the blood bank and the dialysis center. So vertical integration with clinical subjects means that in your first year, when you're ideally not supposed to be having lectures on surgery and medicine, you get to have those, and you get to have them linked to the subjects that you have in first year, which I'll get to later. Okay, more post-any exams. I know that sounds like it's a bad thing, but really it just means that so in second year, you get to go to the wards, different wards, right? And now your teachers have more incentive to teach you because they have to take an exam. So it's a good thing. And a foundation course in first year, which is more of an introductory 1 month. That's going to be your first month in MBBS. And it's going to be about CBME, but it's also going to be a lot of good things. You're going to learn technical skills, analytical skills, and you get to have talent shows and play sports. So yeah. Okay, again, I know it's a lot on the screen, so we'll go through it really fast. What does CBME include? Lectures, same as you've been going through for 2 years, I'm sure. Small group discussions are basically lectures where they divide you into smaller groups, so it's more interactive. DOAP is really great. What it means is that they demonstrate certain skills and you get to perform them in a simulated environment. So we learned intramuscular, intravenous injections on mannequins. We learned airway management on mannequins. Skill assessment is to make sure that you know your skills well. So they make you do it in front of you. So they make you do blood pressure, pulse. Okay, core is all the topics that are going to come in your exam for sure. These are all the important topics. They've literally released a list of the topics that are core. So if you want to do really well in your finals, these are the topics that you should be covering. Okay, next. Okay, like I said, it's a shorter course, but it is the same, if not more, amount of work. A lot of your seniors will tell you that the second year is the honeymoon period where you have 1.5 years and you get to have a lot of fun. Unfortunately, you are not going to have that. We have 11 months, but at the end of your third year, you get 2 months where your college has to provide any clinical or non-clinical field for you to experience when you have no postings and no lectures. So it's actually a really good thing. So you have 2 months of electives and a total of 52 months. Okay, I know no one wants to listen to exams. So again, very fast. You have 3 exams in first year, first term, second term prelim, and then your finals. Each paper is 100 marks. You have 3 subjects, anat, physio, biochem. One theory plus math means you have 1 theory and 1 practical. And your prelims, you have 2 theory papers for each subject and 1 practical. Next. This is roughly going to be the same in whichever college you go to, but I have taken it from the Maharashtra University of Health Sciences. So your paper pattern is going to be 20 MCQs. BAQs are 2-mark questions. So they're really, really detailed, and it's never, we never had it before till our batch. And it was a bit of a shock. So be prepared for that. SAQs are short answer questions. LAQs are long answer questions. Remember, they're going to ask you a lot of clinical scenario based questions. So again, be prepared for that. But one good thing is that in every 1 paper for each subject, you get 1 question on ethics, which is compulsory. You have to attempt it. It's a good thing. Again, a very, very brief understanding of the subjects that you're going to be studying this year. Anatomy is understanding the position and structure of different organ systems. Physiology is basically understanding how your body functions. And biochemistry, like it says, is understanding the working of the body at a very molecular level. Okay, so something about CBME versus old is that the old curriculum used to have 50-mark papers with 10 marks for MCQs. We have 200-mark papers. So you have to learn a lot more and write a lot more. And we have clinical-based questions that were not really emphasized on earlier. And also things like in anatomy, there are certain subtopics like histology, embryology, and stuff you could skip. You can't skip anything now. The goal is to make sure you study better and you know more things, but I just want you to go into medicine knowing how things are going to be. And from my personal experience, last thing, you should study anatomy first. It's tough. It's a lot of rote learning. Physiology is interesting, but it's not really as scoring compared to the other two. So if you're looking for that, keep that in mind. Do your core topics, do clinical scenario based questions. You're going to learn ahead about books which have these questions. And again, about books which have BAQs and MCQs. So yeah, that's where Medicrew turns out to be actually really helpful. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you, Rotractor Alekha, for such words of wisdom. Now we'll be moving on to one of the most important parts of the seminar, the subjects and the books to be used. Moving over to the first subjects, anatomy. What exactly is anatomy? Anatomy is a study of the structures of human body, essentially the organs, muscles, nerves, and etc. So anatomy is further subdivided into gross and general anatomy, embryology, histology, and genetics. So I'll tell you more about these subtopics and the books you have to use for each. Now, gross anatomy is a very, very basic branch of anatomy wherein you deal with the relations, functions of each organ. General anatomy is basically the composition function of the bodily tissues. So the 2 main books to be used are B.D. Chaurasia and Vishram Singh. So from my personal experience, we've seen that our senior batch, like I am from the 2019 batch, our senior batch was, they used to use more of Vishram Singh because it is more diagram oriented and it has, easier to draw diagrams. But the change of flow has been seen with our batch and my junior batch, there's a 2020 batch. We have started using more of B.D. Chaurasia because it is more clinically oriented. Moving on to embryology. Embryology is the prenatal development of the human body, right from the fusion of gametes, formation of the zygote, to the formation of organs, the different shaping of the organs and all. So the trusted book for embryology is Inderbir Singh. Moving on to histology. What is histology? Histology is the microscopic study of bodily tissues. So, for example, if you have the stomach, you'll have the histology specimen of the stomach, which will show the types of cells, the villi, and the multiple structures that you see in the stomach wall. The trusted book for histology is Inderbir Singh. Genetics, as you all know, is a study of genes and heredity. And one of the best books for genetics is Gangane. Now, these are some of the books which I encountered during my MBBS journey. So, as we said, as Dr. Alekha said, you'll have 2-marker questions, where you have to study in a lot more depth than our seniors used to. So, the book on the right, even though it's called SAQs in Anatomy, it divides the entire chapter into small, minute one-liner questions. And trust me, most of the universities pick their one-liners from this book. And moving on to MCQs. MCQs, I am sure you have a lot of experience with MCQs, but one of the best books for MCQs in anatomy is MCQs by Dr. V.G. Sawant. So here is a question from a university question paper. If you can see on your left, if you read question 3D, a baby boy was born with, a baby boy was delivered using forceps. 2 weeks later, the parents took the child to the pediatrician as his right arm was medially rotated, adducted, while his forearm was extended and pronated. Don't worry, you'll be learning all these terms in anatomy. Now, the questions asked are, name the position of the upper limb, name the position of the upper limb of the baby, what is the clinical condition known as, name the cause of injury, and the muscles paralyzed. Now, this is what we mean when we say you'll be asked a lot more clinical scenario-based questions. Now, let's see how to approach these questions when you're studying for exams. On your right, you'll see there is a screenshot, there is a snapshot from a clinical anatomy textbook. If you read, it says, this is a question on Erb's paralysis. It says, in a difficult labor, an obstetrician applied forceps to the head of the baby. The newborn baby's right arm was adducted, medially rotated, and the forearm was extended and pronated. Note the questions. What is the clinical condition called? What are the nerve roots involved? What is the cause of this condition? And which muscles are paralyzed? Now, this book is what I would like to call a gold mine, because most of the universities don't have, a list of the clinical scenario-based questions. But this book gives you each and every topic of clinical scenario-based questions. I'll be announcing the name of this book in our subsequent slides. Now, this is our gold mine for anatomy. Moving on to our next subject, physiology. What is physiology? Physiology is the study of functions and mechanisms in the human body. Now, any college you go to, whether it's in north, south, west, east, anywhere, all the physiology teachers will suggest you buy Guyton and start reading Guyton. But should you read Guyton? Is Guyton a very easy to read book? Definitely not. Guyton is one of the biggest textbooks you'll see in MBBS, but it's very descriptive. It's super easy to read, and it's really easy for the student to understand as well. Now, the teachers obviously suggest Guyton, but should you actually read Guyton? Well, it depends on you. If you are well versed with huge textbooks, if you can retain everything that's there, then you should definitely go for Guyton. Another book is the book on the right. You can see Physiology, Prep Manual for Undergraduates by Dr. Vijaya D. Joshi. This book is what you'll be commonly hearing as VD Joshi. It's basically Guyton in a smaller question answer based format. So for those of you who are used to question answers, reading question answers and replicating them in your exams, this book is really good. And now Guyton is a very extensive textbook. Coming to the less extensive textbooks, you have textbooks like AK Jain and GK Pal. Sembulingam is one of the most student-friendly textbooks with easy to draw diagrams, flowcharts, and with a very student-friendly language. And Sembulingam is our goldmine for physiology. Moving on to biochemistry. What exactly is biochemistry? It's basically study of the human body at molecular level. The reactions happening within the human body or relating to the human body all come under biochemistry. Now, if you see the textbook on the left, it says textbook of biochemistry is by Dr. D.M. Vasudevan. Now, this book is something which the NCI recommends, and it's one of the best books for biochemistry. But again, as was the case with Guyton, this is a really extensive textbook, and you'll see a lot of diagrams, you'll see a lot of text in this textbook. But should you actually read this textbook? Well, again, my answer stays the same. If you're well versed with huge textbooks, if you can really reciprocate the same answers in your exams, you should go for Vasudevan. Now, coming to Pankaja Nayak is just like Vasudevan, but it is a lot more clinically oriented. And on the right, you'll see Satyanarayan. It is also one of the very good books and a very suggested book by all the teachers. Prasad RM, that is our goldmine for biochemistry. It's basically entire, it comprises of Vasudevan, Pankaja Naik, and Satyanarayan in a question-answer based format. As we saw with V.D. Joshi, Prasad RM is our goldmine for biochemistry. Handing over to Rotractor Kunal Shah. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So there was an intense discussion about books and about the entire curriculum. So let's move on to the lighter part, which is about medical college fests. So does MBBS mean only books and studies? The answer is no. Sports, research, cultural. There are 3 types of fests that take place in every college, every university. You can see AIMS Delhi Pulse 2019 being highlighted. It is a milestone in every MBBS student's life. It takes place every year. There are students going to Delhi, attending the Pulse, taking a vacation at the nearest hill station after the Pulse trip. And it is one of the most memorable trips that you can have in your entire MBBS life. Next. So here you can see a few snapshots from the fest. The first snap is a flash mob, which is taking place in a college. The next one, you can see everyone dressed in the white coat, which is a research workshop and an auditorium. You can see a sports tournament happening in the stadium, and these are the level. This is the level of at which the sports tournaments take place. The next one you see is a pro show, and who doesn't like chill nights? So the next slide is about again, you can see the AIMS Delhi Shimla trip. This is what I'm talking about. You can go to Rishikesh, you can go to Shimla, you can go to Dehradun. People go to Chandigarh, Amritsar, everywhere in the north after the AIMS Delhi trip. Here you can see on the bottom left, Rotaract Club of Medicrew is having its trek. So this was in 2021 after the norms were eased out and after our batch came, and we actually organized an offline trek so that there's an entire team bonding. You can be a part of it too. And here you can see our college trip. So MBBS is not only about studies. Next slide. Yeah. So here I'll be talking about what do you think you'll be wearing in your colleges? Like you'll be having a question, what's a particular dress code? Will it be formals? Will it be Indian formals? So it is a very subjective decision, and it's on the basis of each college, and it's a decision of the management. So colleges like MGM have their own dress code, like a white shirt and black pants. Some colleges have strict Indian formals, but there is nothing that is medically relevant that you can wear. So the Rotaract Club of Medicrew launched its very own merchandise. Yes, our very own merchandise, where we have our first design, Believe, Belong, Become, which is our motto. The most valid excuse, that is sorry, I can't, I'm in med school. And minimalization is key. You can see a stethoscope and a small ECG. So these are the 3 designs that we have launched currently. We'll be launching many more designs very soon, limited edition t-shirts, limited edition hoodies, and you can be a part of it too. Next, when you join your college, you'll be seeing all your seniors having these t-shirts. You can get yours too.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kunal. Further, we'll be moving on to our goldmine for anatomy, which is Snell's clinical anatomy. Now, we've seen with our batch and also for our junior batch that colleges tend to pick up direct case-based questions with slight change of the questions. As you have seen, you've given your NEET and all. So you've seen that questions come directly from, let's say USS, HC Verma, etc. And they just change maybe the names, maybe some numbers, and you have the question directly to you. So that's what happens from Snell's clinical anatomy, and that's our goldmine for anatomy. Moving on. So how to approach USMLE, PLAB, and the next. So for those of y'all who don't know, the USMLE is the entrance exam which you have to give in order to pursue PG in the United States of America. The PLAB, also known as the UK MLA, is the medical entrance exam which you have to give in order to pursue your PG in the United Kingdom. The next, well, technically not the next. Currently, we have the NEET PG, but the soon to be next is the medical entrance exam which you will be giving to pursue PG in India. Now, every competitive exam has 3 integral parts: academics, extracurriculars, and research. So we'll be covering each of them in our subsequent slides. Coming to academics, academics is just like your exams. You'll have theoretical assessment and you'll have practical assessment. So there are multiple steps in these exams. Like USMLE has step 1, step 2, next will be having next 1, next 2. So what exactly are these steps or these parts? So step 1 is a theoretical clinical assessment. Now, the horizon of the theory would differ. Now, USMLE step 1 is just first and second year subjects. NEET PG is all MBBS subjects. That's 19 subjects. And, the scope differs, when it comes to exam from exam to exam. Now, step 2 is clinical skills and clinical knowledge. Now, every exam may not conduct a clinical knowledge examination, but they always conduct clinical skills, bedside manners. And, if you're pursuing USMLE or UKMLA, the step 2 will be directly held in the US or the UK. Now, extracurriculars. Extracurriculars is something which universities abroad love. They really love students because this is what will differentiate you as a great student from a good student. Everybody can score marks, but can you do extracurriculars? Do you have the power? Do you have, the inherent ability to represent your university when you go there, to represent your country when you go there? That's what they look out for. If you've seen a lot of medical shows, not just medical shows, if you've seen a lot of, American or, foreign shows, foreign movies, you see that, the prisoners are made to do community service. The US and the UK, these countries love community service. They love students who are actively involved in community service. It gives you an extra edge over the students who've not pursued community service. And that's something RC Medicrew helps you with. So the most important part, okay, in extracurriculars is bonding. You have to speak you have to give interviews. You have to be a very good orator. You have to answer questions very wittily. Now, coming on to our international exchanges, RC Medicrew holds international exchanges with colleges and universities all over the globe every single month. And when you join RC Medicrew, you can choose to be a part. You can choose to be a part of these international exchanges and be a delegate and represent RC Medicrew and India at these international exchanges. Now, and actually, and the I attend most of these exchanges, but my favorite one was India x UK, Project Kaleidoscope 6.0, the first picture on the left. It was with Leeds University. I would actually like to share a personal experience. One of my friends, he attended this, I'm still a junior. One of my friends, he was an intern at the time. And he attended this Project Kaleidoscope, India x UK with Leeds University. The following year, he actually applied to the UK for his PG. And when he went for his step 2, I said step 2 is conducted in the UK itself. When he went for step 2, they saw this on the CV that, he attended a Project Kaleidoscope, an international exchange, India x UK. So he was already well versed with, how the medical system works there. They have NHS hospitals, etc. Everything was covered in this international exchange. And when the university saw this, they loved him. They loved him to the extent, currently he's practicing cardiology in the United Kingdom. You can be there too with RC Medicrew. And you see, we conduct a lot more international exchanges. Like there's Spain, there's Brazil, there's Panama, there's Honduras, there's Egypt, and a lot more every single month. You can choose to be a part, you can be a delegate, or you can be in the organizing committee of these international exchanges. Moving on to community service, RC Medicrew is an internationally recognized NPO. Okay, NPO is a non-profit organization. And, there have been times when the government has recognized us. You can see the picture on the left where Shri Aditya Thackeray, our tourism minister, the tourism minister for Maharashtra, he graced an event with his presence. And that's how the government loves us. The government is really involved. The government, they try to play an active role. We also are a lot involved with the government, with the BMC and a lot of stuff. You can see, in the periphery are some snaps from community service projects that we do all over India. Now, in the center, you can see this is a screenshot from the newspaper Midday. This is from last year. And if you see the picture, it's actually me. Now, I started my road track journey as a sports director. Currently, I'm the vice president. This is from the time I was a sports director. And we had a project where we were installing screens between the rickshawalas and the passengers, to decrease the transmission of COVID. Now, what happened here is Midday, one of the most popular newspapers, caught attention of this, and they actually published it in their newspapers. And as a matter of fact, I found out about this around 2 months later. So, you can be where I am right now. You can be where all of us are right now, and that is only possible with RC Medical. Now, here you can see we also give you a lot of preclinical exposure. So your postings, your clinical postings start from second year. But if you choose to be a part of health camps in your first year, you can see the first picture on the left where you are actually interacting with a patient. It's not a simulated patient. It's not a teacher. It's not your friend. It's an actual patient. And that is the level of clinical exposure RC Medical provides. And you can see a lot of, snaps from the projects that we do. Here is a snap where one of the BJP coordinators graced our event with her presence. Moving on. So we also conduct food drives all over the country. We had collaborations with Zomato, Feeding India, and a lot of collaborations where we feed multiple people. These projects have won on an international level. Now, we conducted food drives in multiple cities such as Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata. In the south, we also helped on the, I think the bottom left, if you see, is a snap from Hyderabad. Now, Hyderabad was flood struck at the time, and RC Medical volunteers, along with Zomato Feeding India volunteers, helped the flood struck people there. The people in distress, and that's how involved RC Medical is with community service. That's something universities abroad really love. They really like to see this on your CV, on your resume. If you want to be differentiated from a good student, this is what you have to do. Moving on, these are some snaps from our community service camps. And on the right, if you see, we had a project which was at a shelter home for stray animals. For those of y'all who love, animals, cats, dogs, all types, we had a project there, and our volunteers actually learned how to help these animals. They learned something about veterinary sciences. They donated a lot of stuff for this, the welfare of stray animals. Moving on. So these are some of our larger projects. The LGBTQ Conclave. This event was attended by Shri Supriya Sule herself, the daughter of Shri Sharad Pawar. We had more events like the Doctor Space. You can see it was a multinational collaboration, and multiple organizations all over the country were a part. This was a national level quiz where we actually saw where RC Medical members were sent as volunteers, were sent as delegates. They represented RC Medical, they represented India, and in this quiz, as a matter of fact, a couple of them even won. Everyone of Special was basically an autism-based seminar, like what we're doing right now. Industrial visits. We have a lot of industrial visits, not just to pharma companies, not just to it's not just restricted to medical. It's everywhere. We had industrial visits to multiple corporate companies, to industrial companies, etc. Now, this is one of the best projects by our editorials avenue. We had book donation drives all over the country. This caught the eye of multiple organizations, and we were actually published there. And you can see on the left, it says Rotary Club of Medicru has donated 504 books for further donation in rural India. On the right, you see we conducted a seminar which was basically to empower the students to recognize victims of sexual abuse. So you see, we not just help you in academics or extracurriculars, we help you to be great doctors. Isn't that why you're here? I'm so sorry. Now, this was one of our, projects which we had during lockdown. You see, during lockdown, the clinical postings were not happening. So we had a project known as SimuMed, which was virtual case simulation websites. And you can see live diagnosis, you can see patient findings, you can see images, you can see, you can feel like you're having an actual interaction with the patient, and you can give your final diagnosis, and you get a chance to be the clinician of the month and get exciting goodies. Moving on. So these are some of the fun projects, which you might be looking forward to. On the left, as Dr. Kunal spoke, we organized a trek, which was to Visapur Fort, and around 40 to 45 people were a part of this trek. It was one of the most loved projects at RC Medicrew. More, we organized projects at multiple trampoline parks all across India. This is a shot from Bounce Inc. at Mumbai. On the right, you can see there are pictures from multiple treks. On the bottom, if you see, there was a trek that we conducted in South India. So, our spectrum is not just limited to Maharashtra or, the West or the North. We are everywhere. We are an internationally recognized organization, and we actually are planning international treks as well. So this was a snapshot from a trek, waterfall trek actually in South India. And there were more projects like shooting camps and all. So we also conduct a lot of cycling rallies, a lot of college trips. The picture on the bottom right was a trek in Pune. On the left, if you can see, we had cycling rallies. We actually have more cycling rallies coming up in the month of April and May, and you can be a part of it when you join RC Medicrew. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll hand over now to Dr. Pratyush Kumar.
Yep. Thank you, Meg. First of all, greetings of the day. Very good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining today. Myself, Dr. Pratyush Kumar. I'm the Vice President for International Service and Research and Innovation Avenue at RC Medicrew. So today, firstly, I would like to give you a minute or two to stretch yourself a little bit, relax, and wide open your brain, because this is something where you'll require a little bit of more attention. When it comes to undergraduate research, the first thing which might come in your mind is it involves some hectic work, some hectic information gathering, some hectic statistics, and some, really very cumbersome projects. But the fact is, there's a lot of myths about UG research. And today I'm going to talk about a few of them. The first thing I would like to ask you is, there was a time when all of you must have been curious. As science students, like there was a time when you must have been curious about photosynthesis, might be in your 3rd or 4th standard, when you read about how plants can make their own food. Then there could have been time where you must have been curious while you were reading biology at your 11th standard or 10th standard. But the fact is that as we move on, the education system is such that it's objective, you have to score marks, and that's something which is going to give you reward. But the fact is now we are not going to talk about just, some getting marks in college. The fact is that after MBBS, you're going to apply for residencies, you're going to go for jobs, and that is what a professional might look for you into. They would look how you are as a person, what things you have done in your resume, what are your that is composed of 3 things: your academics, your extracurricular, and your research work. If you ask me, back then in 2018, I joined MBBS. And once I joined MBBS, there were so many of textbooks, like you must have seen these studies that you have to do. I didn't do anything. I just studied, and my aim was to get marks. But the fact is, down 1 year lane, and I was at a point, and I looked back and I saw that I have literally done nothing, but just got some marks on my resume. And specifically talking about when it comes to doing research, the first question you should ask, why you need to do it. As my friend talked about USMLE, UKMLA, and next, and all these future branches which you have to go for, research is something which is really going to pay you off. And this is just a little preview of my research journey, how I started, and multiple things which I did over the year. And now I'm going to talk about how you can do it and how you can be researcher in your respective fields of interest. Moving ahead. Yeah. So the first question I want to ask you, what is research for you? For some of the students, you might be curious about it. It might sound like you'll be scientists or you'll be doing some amazing stuff. Or is it something which can help you get residencies in USMLE and UKMLA? Absolutely correct. One of the very thing, if you're aiming to go studies in abroad, research is very important to be done. You could even think that it's something to show off on your CV, something to prove that you are smart, or maybe just your friend is doing an ICMR project and you want to pursue it same. Some people can even think that by doing the research, you'll be working alongside a teacher and it will hype you up your internal marks. Or some people can even think that, this research workshop is just irrelevant to your career and just attending this for the certificates. Or maybe attending a lavish conferences and have some good food. But the fact is, moving ahead, that, no matter which reason it is, literally no matter, it could be, showing off on your CV, getting a residency, it's completely okay to be honest to yourself. the time when you accept that you want to do this, this is the reason why I want to do this, and it could be a selfish reason. It's completely all right to be honest with yourself. And doing research is definitely worth it. Moving ahead, I'm going to talk about research opportunities. But before that, when you go to your college, there will be hardly any student doing a research project, hardly a handful of students. And the common thing which you ask medical students on why they are not, doing research projects or taking active participation is that there would be some common complaints that, मुझे तो नहीं पता क्या करना है, or I don't know what I have to do. I don't know from where the applications will come, और मेरे पास experience नहीं है, so maybe मेरा selection ना हो, और मे बी पढ़ाई हो जाए उसके बाद रिसर्च करेंगे, पहले एग्जाम में पास होने का देखते हैं, which a lot of you must be thinking कि यार इतना पढ़ना है उसके साथ रिसर्च कौन करेगा. Or some of you can even say that there are no opportunities in my college, or मेरे पास कोई guide या mentor नहीं है. These are the very common complaints of medical students, and trust me, all of them are something which you can break up, which you can solve if you are determined to do something for your own good. Moving ahead, like I'll just, for research opportunities, I just give you an example of amazing number of research opportunities in India and abroad, which you can get an MBBS, and these are going to be opportunities which are going to shape you as a healthcare professional. Because again, the fact is that 5.5 years down the lane, all of you will be MBBS students, all of you will be equivalent, and that will be time when you apply for residency or a match. How would someone know that you are better than him, or how would someone select you? They'll see what you have done, how analytical you are, and these are a few of the skills which research will actually inculcate in you. I will not go into the detail of these because they are not much relevant right now. It's just to give an example that they are out there, and this is what RC Medical does. We gather all the information which is out there and all the conferences which are happening and help you get access to them. Moving ahead, the question which a lot of you might ask, that once you get into MBS, how will you actually start on your journey? If it's your first project, get help. It's very, very necessary that you have someone who can guide you, who can help you on basically what you have to do. And this is something which we all believe in. And specifically, RC Medical has launched a lot of collaborative projects where our members could collaborate into small group and can carry on their own research. Make a timeline based on all your commitments. The fact is that being a MBBS student, there would be months where you will be flat with exams. There will be months where you will have a lot of things to do. Specifically, as MBBS is not only about exams, you have to attend parties, you have to go with your friends, hang out with them, have fun in your life. So it's very important that which is a time which you can allot. So making a timeline is very, very important. And you know that if you're having exams in August and September, these are the months where you'll not be involved. Maybe in June, July, you can do something and you can bring it upon your CV. Have a brief idea about the compulsory barrier, ethics approval, materials required, analysis, etc. And this is how we can help you via research workshops. We teach you how you can approach faculties, what are the study methodologies that you can adapt. And these are the few things that you'll keep on learning as you grow into and go into MBBS. It's always better to make a team, although lone wolves will have a much better experience, but it will be a little difficult. And that's where we can be of help by collaborating into smaller groups. Start, adhere to timeline, and complete with a publication. The biggest thing is that when you complete a research project, you have to get it published. The basic idea doesn't mean you have to get it published in some magazine or some website. The fact that there are multiple scientific research journals of medicine, and they are indexed in various databases. So your research work can be accessed globally by all researchers who want to maybe see and look into what you have done, or maybe they are researching on something same branch. So this is something which will come with time. And again, not going into the detail. Then again, other ways are to get into mentorship projects and ongoing projects. Some of your senior or RC Medical is carrying some project, and maybe you can get into it and have an idea of how you can actually do things, how these things are done at all. And this be an apprenticeship. This is something which is also good. You can reach out to your seniors, or maybe reach out to the people at RC Medical who are in charge of the research and innovation avenue. Moving ahead, I'll be now going to the next part, that a very brief overview of the research events which we have conducted in the past year. Project SHEER, in which it was an on-ground milk donation drive. And then apart from it, we also collected data of the healthcare settings which was there, and the public health setting which was there. Medtech Startup Challenge, and platform where you can give your own idea and startup. We can even help you get sponsorship for your ideas. then research dialogues with a lot of people and a lot of experienced researchers who can help you how you can go in this field. And Analytica is again a project, collaborative research project where a lot of students and members could arrange into smaller groups and pursue something of their own. And USMLE is demystified because research is absolutely necessary for USMLE, specifically if you want it good on your CV. So these are just a very brief overview. The takeaway points from my part specifically would be that have an idea on what you want to do after your MBBS, how you want to pursue your journey as a professional, and what you want to become in life and what you want to get out of it. That will help you to set goals at different aspects, that at this end of this professional, I want to do this, so I can reach out to some other places. And like, this is the basic takeaway point from today's session as well, that it's to orient you to what MBBS holds. Because to be very honest, when I joined, I started very late in these things. The fact is because there was no one to guide me or orient me according to it. So that's the thing. We are here. RC Medical is always here to guide you, or always here to help you, and to reach out and to do what you want to do, and help you to get it more things on your resume, and help you to develop as a professional, because that is the main message. Moving ahead, a lot of question which has been asked is, how can you be a part of our endeavors and shape your dreams into reality? So I'll hand over to Rotractor Prerita to take from here. So Prerita.
Thank you so much, Rotractor Pratyush. So hi guys, this is Rotractor Prerita Mittal. I'm the chairperson for the Human Resource Development Avenue. So finally we come to the part where how can you become a part of this organization, rather how can you become a part of this movement, how can you be on this side of the story. So it's a very simple process. Once you join your medical school, you will be inducted about RC Medicru by something called institutional ambassadors. So let me quickly brief you about the organization structure. So at the head, we have a president. Under the president, we have a core team of a sergeant at arms who maintains decorum, a secretariat team, a finance team, and 4 vice presidents and chairpersons of HRD. And distributed among these are 10 different avenues. So as already explained, each avenue conducts a different kind of event. Professional development will conduct events that will help you develop professionally. Research will conduct research events. Sports and club service will conduct something that is non-academic, so that you can take your mind off that. And HRD gives leadership positions, right? So basically, all these avenues will conduct different projects to ensure that you develop as a holistic medical individual. Okay, so yeah, and as we go ahead, we also have under the HRD, we have something called institutional ambassadors, we have regional heads, and we have state directors. And under PD, we have something called faculty heads. So faculty heads is one head for MBBS, one head for physiotherapy, etc., depending upon the streams we have. We have regional heads for different regions, we have state heads, and we have institutional ambassadors for every college. So we have basically tried to build a foundation extremely strong so that proper communication takes place at every level. Right? So this is our organization structure. So how can you be a part of this? First off, you start as a general body member. For that, we have launched an early bird offer of 999 or 999 rupees for the rest of this term, that is till June, and for the next year. So from now onwards till next June as in June of 2023. Okay. And the late bird offer for the same will be 1200 rupees. So as soon as you join your college, you will be inducted by your IAs, and make sure to grab the early bird offer, because it's something great. Okay, and after that, we will be opening up positions subsequently in the next few months for board of directors, for core positions, and for institutional ambassadors, regional heads, faculty heads, and state directors. And this is how you can be a part of the integral working of the organization. Or if you do not want to come at the time, you can obviously stay as a general body member. Okay, now something else that I would like to say is that we are launching something that you can call as an equivalent to an internship at Medicru in the upcoming weeks, in a few weeks. So we will be selecting certain people on basis of interview, application, etc. And we will be giving them a chance to work as directors of different avenues, as directors. They will be getting chance to run the professional development avenue, run the research avenue, run the sports avenue for a few weeks, just to get just to get first-hand experience, and they can decide which position they want to apply for next year. So this is something that we are going to be launching, and you can stay tuned by following our Instagram page, the link for which we will be giving henceforth. So this is basically how I wanted to, and this entire program is termed as Avenue Chairs. Okay, the entire program. So avenue chairs, you will be a chair of an avenue, chair of a sports avenue, chair of club service avenue, and you will get to work integrally with the directors, work as a director, and conduct projects firsthand. So something that you can call equivalent to a internship. So this is about the membership. And what I would like to say is that as already my as a vice president, Dr. Meek said that it has been like, most of the, if you go to your college now and you speak to your seniors, most of them would have joined RC Medical because it's something that is custom and it has been going on for a few years now, because it just helps. Medical just makes your life, better. It just helps you develop as a holistic individual, as I said. So once you join your college, you will be contacted by your institutional ambassador and they will send you the link, and that is how you register for our club. So yeah, that is what I would like to say. That is how you can be a part of our endeavors and shape your dreams into reality. So next slide. So I would like to thank everyone for attending this event today. I would like to thank my the vice presidents that are present today, the secretariat, the joint secretary that's present with us today, and the director that's present with us today. And I would now like to open the forum for question and answers, and we will address any question and answers that you have, any questions that you have. I would like to pass it on to Dr. Meek now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prerita. Now, as Dr. Prerita said, you can be a part of RC Medicrew within the next 2 weeks by joining and becoming avenue chairs. We'll be having interviews, we'll be having a selection process, and if we shortlist you, you'll be a part of avenue chairs in multiple cities of India. Now, as we've already discussed, when you join medical college, you have to join RC Medicrew. It's custom that has been going on for many years, and I think you realize how important it is to join RC Medicrew and how we shape your dreams into reality. We now open the chat box for the Q&A session. So if there are any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so we have a question from Mr. Gaurav Mittal. Being on the avenue chair helps power our CV or fulfills personal benefits. Okay, so I have a very good answer for you. Now, it actually helps in both. So I was a sports director in my first year, actually. Right where you are right now, I was a sports director, and I did not think about powering up my CV or adding some fancy stuff to my CV. It was just I saw an ad which was basically a message for becoming a director, and I looked at it. There were multiple avenues, multiple directors. So I saw that, okay, I can be a part of it. I just applied for the sake of it, and fortunately I got in. Currently I'm the vice president of sports, PR, and club service. Now you can see how it helps your CV also. So I fulfilled my personal benefit. I wanted to be a sports director. I wanted to make contacts, and currently I have contacts all over India. I know a lot of people. The working of any corporate organization, the hierarchy. It's something that powers your CV because people look at you like you have experience is something we've all heard. Experience is something everyone talks about. RC Medicrew gives you the experience along with fulfilling your personal benefits. Any link or form to get enrolled? Okay, so link or form. Prerita, would you like to take up that question?
Yeah, so yeah, hi. So as I said that as soon as you join your college, you will be inducted by your institutional ambassadors, and they will immediately share with you the link and all the process that has to be followed. So yeah.
Okay, so do you guys not follow any foreign authors? Okay, so when you join MBBS, you'll see a lot of foreign authors. Like for anatomy, I think so. Snell's is actually a foreign book. Guyton is a foreign book. But when you join a medical college in India, they will always tell you to read Indian books, because what happens is some diseases, like it's TB, dengue, malaria, all these are very, very, very prevalent in India. these are not so prevalent in the outside world. Maybe like something like Ebola is really prevalent there. So when you become a doctor in India, the Indian medical colleges want you to learn the Indian scope of medicine. That's why they always suggest that you read Indian textbooks. That's why even for Guyton, you always have to buy the Southeast Asian edition. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Adit. Okay, so a question from Miss Vanisha. Do editions make much difference in MBBS? For example, if you have Guyton and halls restricted to Southeast Asia edition, the latest one is third. So will there be much difference? Okay, now what happens is, I'll give you an example of Indian books. Okay, now Guyton is something which not everyone reads. I read Guyton in my initial days, and then I realized, I should read books that are easy to read, student-friendly books. So what happened is, for our seniors, they never had clinical scenario based questions. They never had, a clinical approach. So for us, when we had the newer editions, we had in every chapter, we had something known as, a clinical section, clinical part at the end of the chapter. What can you learn the functioning, you learn the normal mechanisms, and then you learn what can go wrong. That is something that's clinical. And I think that is something that comes up in the latest editions. So that's why latest editions, of course, what people do is they also take Xeroxes of the new editions and then use it along with their old edition. So that's also something you can do. But I would always suggest, I am personally someone who likes to read books, and I like to underline. So I always prefer, buying the latest edition, because it gives you an upper edge over someone who has the older edition. Right. I'm going to, so Mr. Ayush says, how can you join this club and what are the positions available? So as Rotractor Prerita said that, we'll be releasing the membership forms soon. And the available positions are in a couple of weeks, we'll be having Avenue chairs where you can intern at the world's largest community-based club. And subsequently in the month of May, June, you'll have more positions like the board of directors. You can be a director at the world's largest club. And more projects, as you grow in this organization, you can become a vice president, a secretary, maybe even the president. What do you mean by institutional ambassadors? Okay, so now, as we said, every single person who joins MBBS joins RC Medical. That's why our reach is so huge. That's why people love us. That's why the government recognizes us. So institutional ambassadors are points of contact for us, who basically in every college, we have a point of contact. That contact is institutional ambassadors. Rotractor Prerita, would you like to say something more? Okay, moving on. Does having an iPad, is having an iPad really necessary in MBBS? Well, definitely not. Okay, if you're a books person, you can read books. And, like I said, I'm a books person. I read books, I underline. But people who have iPads, of course, if you're aesthetic, if you really like to make, like fancy notes with multiple colors, that time I think iPad is really necessary. Or if not, you can actually just buy different multicolor pens and use it in your notebook. Would you suggest reading foreign authors to prepare for USMLE? Okay, so just, I'd like to give one tip for USMLE. Now, USMLE step 1 is basically first year and second year subjects. That's anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pharmacology, pathology, and microbiology. So these first year and second year subjects, what people do is sometimes they give USMLE step 1 in third year, because your first and second year subjects are super fresh. So, with a quick reading of foreign authors, a quick reading of, resources for USMLE like Kaplan, like first aid, Q banks and all, you can actually give USMLE with a fresh mind. But some people suggest that you give USMLE step 1 after internship, because USMLE asks questions which are basically, case-based scenarios. So you have a lot of, clinical exposure in your internship, and people say that you are more equipped to answer these questions when you're, a graduate. Foreign MOOCs are more clinically based. BDC is more ratta. Well, you can say that, but the thing is, the fact is that if you want to score, see, foreign author books, what happens is, now there is a book called, you'll have multiple atlas. You'll have to buy, you might buy an atlas for anatomy. Now, atlas, one of the most popular atlases are Netters. So Netters is a foreign author, but you can read Netters. It's really nice to look at. You can have it on your side. You can see Netters. You can concurrently read. But can you write answers from Netters? Well, definitely not. You cannot write an answer because it's really nice to look at. It's really nice to understand, but you cannot reciprocate it on paper. And if you want to do well in your university papers, you have to read Indian books. How does this focus on students in North? Well, actually, we have a student from the North, Dr. Pratyush. Would you like to answer this?
Yep. Thank you, Meg. So I'll answer a few of the questions which have been asked about specifically about the North region and also about research. So firstly, about how the activities in North happen. So as Meg has already explained our structure, that we have regional ambassadors and institutional ambassadors also, and regional directors. So we have a regional director for North also, and there are institutional ambassadors for most of the colleges of North. So how these activities happen, that we get collaborations in the North region itself, and we conduct offline health camps, to offline research, to offline events or club service projects and treks also in collaboration with all the avenues. So we are a pan-India club, so events are going to happen in all of the regions, and it's going to be very equivalent. And specifically, if you're someone in the North, you can itself become a leader in the North region and can help the club to grow and to conduct events which you want to conduct in the North regions. So apart from it, the next question which I'll be answering is, which year shall we start research from? So see, my answer to this question is that there is no specific timeline. Some students do their first project in their first year. Some even do it in their internship when all of a sudden they change their mind from NEET PG to USMLE. They can even do their projects there at that point. It depends on what is your goal. Firstly, identify that. If you are very clear that after your MBBS you want to go abroad, you can definitely start early. If you have great opportunities, you have great mentors in your college, you get in touch and you want to do it, you have the time, so go for it. There is never a fixed timeline. Everyone is supposed to make their own timelines. So don't be very focused on, when you'll go in third year, then only you will do research projects. I would highly suggest, like we have one more question about, about USMLE. So I'll highly suggest that, if you're planning to go for abroad, and so make your own timeline. Have in mind when you're going to give your step exams, because for USMLE there are multiple step exam, and there are multiple step exams. So you'll have in mind that in third year you'll give you this step exam. You'll have some amount of time where you can do your research projects and get in touch via concerned faculties and do everything. So there's no specific timeline. It completely depends on you when you can want to be a part of the team. Apart from it, regarding biophysics, yes, of course, why not? As I talked about empowering our own members, we give them opportunities to take out ideas which they want to pursue. We give them the members base, we give them the human resource and all kinds of support which we can, so that they can pursue researches in biophysics. In fact, one of the groups of Analytica is also working on a similar topic. Karthik is asking, can you please tell us the scope of research in MBBS? Can I do it in first year itself? Can you please share the contact details of the research person? Okay, for sure, Karthik. So regarding the scope of MBBS and research, if you ask me right now, if any of you will talk to your seniors, right now is the phase of ICMR proposal, and most of your seniors will be involved in doing something or the other for ICMR, because this is kind of the go-to research competition or research proposal program which every Indian medical student does, because ICMR is highly recognized. So how the first year should participate in STS program as per to timeline till mid-Feb. See, I think you all are still not allotted colleges. So I believe that by March somewhere you'll be allotted colleges, and the proposal deadline in February. Being a first year student right now, you cannot go for a ICMR STS for this year, but from next year when you'll be probably first year outgoing, that will be the time where you can be eligible and you can attempt ICMR STS from that time till the time of your final year, not an internship. So you'll have 4 or 5 options, but I'll highly suggest that when you're going to, actually go for ICMR STS, you have a very clever, very idea about when you're going to do for it, because ICMR STS, the rules changes and it is like you can only if your application gets rejected, then you can reapply in ICMR ST. So you cannot do it multiple times. So you have to be very sure your field of interest. Specifically in USMLE, if you want to go for internal medicine, you want to go for surgical branches, you want to go for suppose cardiology or cardiothoracic surgery. It's important that your research work, your profile is aligned to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. You are associated with recognized scientific societies related to cardiothoracic surgery. That is how you make your resume to be in that branch. Another question, YouTube, when to start studying for USMLE or PLAB, and when do we appear for it? So to be very honest, right now the answer for this question is in the phase of transition, because recently ECFMG, which is the Educational Commission for Medical Education, for IMGs, which is the body for USMLE, they have changed their criteria, and USMLE is going from score number to pass fail. Earlier we used to get a score, and now we are only get in step and pass or fail. The thing that it matters is that specifically for you all, you only have the option of attempting an exam, pass and fail. The thing is that previously the US medical students or from the medical school used to get a score of 240, 250, and Indians specifically good at objective exams. We have been trained since our childhood to pay for NEET UG, then these objective exams, so we are good at scoring. So we used to get 260, 270s, and program directors used to prefer us. But now, as it's pass or fail, the shift would change towards more of how your resume looks, what is your research experience. So if you ask me when you want to start studying for USMLE or PLAB, make your own timeline. More specifically, for step 1 USMLE, you can only attempt it once you're done with your second year subjects, right? So maybe towards the second year outgoing or third year is the ideal time to appear for a step 1 exam. And how do improving that is the ideal time to appear for a step 1 exam. Although there is no fixed timeline, many students have appear for step 1 after then next exam they're planning to attempt in their internships. So it's completely up to you. You have to make your own timeline based on how you want to divide your year. You might think that for second year mein we can build upon on concepts for specifically first year, because MBBS is going to take a heavy toll on you, no doubt. So maybe you can think that first year you can build your concepts, be engaged in community service and projects and professional development. Second year you can maybe shift towards more of research and more of NGO work and all those things. And then in your final year you can again go back to studies, because final year will again be heavy. So it's a completely up to your timeline. I'll be very honest with you. There's no no get timeline that you have to attempt on that only. And apart from it, how you guys manage your time getting academic plus improving your resume. See, Adit, as I think Meg has already emphasized on that point, that like there will be competition. How did you manage biology, physics, and chemistry when you were preparing for NEET UG? You divided time. You made your own schedules. That this day I'll study 3 hours physics, this 2 hours chemistry, the 2 hours biology. Right? You made your own schedule. So again, you have to do the same. And see, MBBS is 5.5 years long. All of you must have got tired after 2 years of NEET UG preparation. If you all started for 11th class, which is the usual timeline. So, the fact is that, MBBS is 5.5 years long. You have to keep it eventful. You have to enjoy. You have to do all sorts of things, be it concert, be it hang out with your friends, or be it research. So you don't get bored, to be very honest, because it's a long period. So it's very important that, you cannot only be into books, because then a time will come where you'll be all burnt out and you won't be like, okay, ab nahi ho sakta, ab MBBS khatam karo. It happens with a lot of medical students. And if not, you just follow a few meme pages and you'll see these memes everywhere. Ki second, third year ke baad, everyone is like all tired. Kya bas MBBS nahi ho rahi. The fact is, if you keep it eventful right from the start, like engaging in the Rotaract club, engaging in clubs, Rotaract clubs, and engaging in events, engaging in research, you'll actually enjoy it. Okay, I think the next few questions are specifically to Mumbai and Maharashtra. So I think Meg would be the better person to answer them. So Meg, handing over to you.
Right. Okay. So I just missed out on the question. Just 1 second. Ratish, can you read it?
Okay, sure, Meg. So there's one question by Adit. Can we get upgraded to a college in Mumbai? It's regarding counseling. If someone is expecting college in interiors of Maharashtra. So it's more regarding how the counseling process in Maharashtra happens. Apart from it, I read a few questions about, specifically about how the college life in Mumbai.
Basically, now I think tomorrow the first state provisional list for Maharashtra is coming out. and now they've delayed the All India provisional list by, I think, a week. So what happens is, you'll be maybe you'll get it depends on the preferences which you filled. So maybe in the first list you'll get let's say you get a GMC in the interiors of Maharashtra, and let's say you want a college in Mumbai, you want a college in Pune. So what happens is, in the second round or in the mop-up round, when seats start opening up, more seats start opening up, you can be upgraded. So don't lose hope. That's one very important thing. You can be upgraded in the second round, you can be upgraded in the mop-up round. So the opportunities are immense. So there was a question: does applying for avenue chairs require you to be a member beforehand? Well, definitely yes. As I said, everyone who joins medical college becomes a member. You have to become a member. It's something that's been going on since many years. So when you become a member, you'll see our opportunities. You'll be added to a WhatsApp group, where we send you these opportunities, where you can be an avenue chair, where you can be institutional ambassadors, where we conduct projects, we health camps, treks, whatnot. So yeah, avenue chairs will be coming up in a couple of weeks. You can be an institutional ambassador you can apply to be an institutional ambassador in the month of June, July. So by the time, and if you're really looking forward to that, I would say, if you're looking to be a part of the board of directors, as a vice president, maybe the secretary, or at the sergeant at arms, you should really take up these avenue chair positions, because it will really help in your holistic development. Is it necessary to use a bone set for studying anatomy? Definitely yes. So in your practical examinations, there is a separate section which is known as hard parts. Now this comprises of bones of right from the skull, the sternum, the humerus, every single bone. They can ask you anything. So you definitely need a bone set, and you can actually get these bone sets from your seniors. They'll be passing it on to you, and of course they'll be selling it to you. So you can definitely contact them. How do we manage our time? Like academic excellence plus improving your resume. So see, it's very simple: effective time management. Okay, now maybe you go to college you'll have college, let's say 8 to 4. So maybe you can do all this extracurricular work, strengthen your CV during college hours when you're free, or when you come home, then you can get back to study. So it all depends on time management. Okay, so there's a question which says, I want my MBBS life to be more balanced. How my parents see it, that it's only study, study, study. So as I said, when I joined MBBS, I did not know anything about extracurriculars. I'd heard of RC Medical. I was a member. As soon as I joined MBBS, you had to join RC Medical. That's a thing. So I was a member, but I never knew about these opportunities which came up. So one day I my scope was limited to my college friends, my friends outside of college, and probably like books, of course. So then I came across this opportunity where I could be a board of director, and well, luckily I cleared the interview, and here I am right now. So that's how RC Medical helps your life to be more balanced. Holistic development is something we always push for. How can you contact institutional ambassadors? Actually, they'll be contacting you when you join a medical college. So don't worry about that. Membership forms will be released once you join college, because as I said, you have, when you join college, you join RC Medical. So the point is that you cannot join RC Medical if you're not in a college, because we have to register you with international bodies. So when we register you, we have to put in your college, and that's why the membership forms will be rolled out only when you join college. So there is a kind gentleman who's from Uttar Pradesh. He's focusing on US MLE, UK MLE, UK MLA. To correct you, it's how do you join this team? So as I said, in 2 weeks we'll be releasing calls for the avenue chairs, and in the month of May, June, and July, you can be a part of the new team. Okay, the new team will be taking over, and you can be a part of that. I would say definitely it helps if you know what you want to do. How are we supposed to prepare notes in each subject? Now it depends. Some people like to pay attention in the lectures, to what the teacher is teaching, ask questions. That's how they learn. And then they go home immediately and they study. They keep a notebook ready and they make notes side by side. Some people like to jot down each and every point that the teacher says and see how it differs from their textbooks and if they can incorporate it in their answers. So it obviously gives an extra edge because the teachers would love your answers. Do you prefer handmade notes or digitally made notes for reviewing, revising? It depends. As I said, if you're an aesthetic person, there are two options. One is you can get multicolored pens and make handwritten notes, or if you don't want to, if you want to save that trouble, you can just use any device that you have and make digital notes in multiple colors. Bone sets you can buy from your seniors.
Just a second, Retractor Meg. I'll be sharing the Google Forms on the chat box right now. It's a little bit of a token from our end, so please do fill it out.
To add more to this, it's a token from our end welcoming you, ending your 2 years of struggle and of course beginning a new journey, but you'll learn more of that. But of course, it's a token of gesture, a token welcoming you to this medical fraternity. We'll be sharing the link on the YouTube chat box and the Zoom chat box. Do fill it out and you'll receive a customized token from our end. So RC Medicrew, for those of you all who are asking, is it there in this college, that college? We are in every college. And if you think you want to be a part of this, if you think you want to be an avenue chair, if you think you want to be an institutional ambassador, a board of director, you can apply in the subsequent weeks, the subsequent months. Right. Dr. Kunal, would you like to take on questions from YouTube?
Yeah, sure. What are the questions? 1 second.
So if you have any more questions regarding memberships, regarding opportunities, you can see our mails. If you have questions regarding research, you can see our mails. They're right here. For research, you can contact ri.rcmedicrew2021@gmail.com. For memberships, you can contact hrd.rcmedicrew2021@gmail.com. For any other opportunities, for anything that you need, you can contact pr.rcmedicrew2021@gmail.com. You can also contact us on Instagram, the QR code of which is there hereby. You can watch our multiple YouTube videos or you can learn more about us on LinkedIn. The QR codes hereby.
Retractor Meg, the question says, should you start studying even though the college hasn't started?
Okay, so, fun fact, actually, my real sister is currently in the NEET counseling phase. And this question was asked to me, multiple times. She asked me, should I study something before joining college? I told her no. Because MBBS is not a short course. You'll have friends maybe who are doing, commerce, engineering, whatever. They finish their graduation in like 3-4 years. But MBBS, you keep studying till, like 4.5 years. You have to study continuously for 4.5 years. Then 1 year of internship, prepare for, your competitive exams, give PG, still studying. And it's a never ending process. So I say, utilize the time that you have right now. Have fun, meet your friends, develop contacts, because I'm telling you, this is a golden time in your life and it won't come back. So what are the different ranks, positions you get in the club and their area of expertise? Okay, let me share my personal experience. Well, in 2019, I joined MBBS, and within 10 days of joining MBBS, everyone tells you about RC Medicrew. So within 10 days of joining MBBS, I joined RC Medicrew. Now what happens is I joined RC Medicrew as a member. There were multiple camps that were being held. So I started, working on my CV, working on my clinical skills with RC Medicrew. Then what happened is in 2020 lockdown, I learned that they were applying, you could apply to be a part of the team. And I thought, maybe, am I that capable? Am I enough to be a part of the team? and I filled out the form. To my surprise, I was shortlisted for the interview round. When I gave the interview round, I was like, okay, it was a decent interview. And then the results were announced. I was announced as the board of director for sports. And, it was a big surprise for me. It was a big surprise, to all my friends and family. I started working. As a matter of fact, I got more than five, or I actually got more than 6 awards for my events. I was, awarded as an outstanding sports director by Rotary International. Okay, you get, you have awards. You get recognized by the district. You get recognized by, multiple international bodies. And then I applied to be a part of the core team, which is, I applied, currently what I am, I'm a vice president. So I learned about multiple avenues. I applied to be the vice president. Currently, I'm the vice president. And, if you choose to be a part of the team, the growth is immense. Okay. And if you're a part of, an organization as big as ours, of course, you have to be a member. So I don't think there's a choice in that. But when you join to be a part of the team, the board of directors, the vice presidents or something, it adds a great deal to your CV, and people don't just look at you as a medical student. People look at you as a person, excelling in multiple fields of life. Which year should you start studying for next? So the guidelines for next are still not clear. Okay, we are still learning more because currently it's NEET PG, and as we've heard, I'd like to give you one news. I think the next is going to be held for the 2018-2019 batch. That is my immediate senior batch. When they say next one, it will be conducted in 2 phases, next one and next two. Next one will be purely final year subjects. Okay, but as Dr. Alekha spoke about, CBME involving vertical integration. So, you can have maybe a hint of anatomy in a surgery question. You can have a hint of physiology in a medicine question. So, this is how they're trying to incorporate vertical integration. So I say, keep your studying strong and, be regular. That's really important. Be consistent. And I think next will be a cakewalk for you. So next one is a theoretical clinical assessment, as I covered it in the academics part of my PPT. So next one is a theoretical clinical assessment, and next two is a purely clinical skill assessment, which will be done after internship. Okay, how can you add on to your CV apart from volunteer work? Well, as I said, you can do volunteer work, you can be a part of the team, and we give you opportunities to be a part of the team. And one very important thing that I said, my friend, he was a delegate at the India x UK International Exchange with Leeds University, and I'm pretty sure everyone has heard Leeds University. Currently he's pursuing cardiology in the United Kingdom. So, that's something we provide to you. We give you a holistic development, opportunities for all sorts of holistic development. Please talk about ragging. Well, ragging is currently, illegal, but so I would not like to comment on that. Please share the Google form. Yeah. Okay. How to manage our backlogs. Okay, I think this is something everyone, has in mind. How to manage your backlogs. Now, so you'll have first term examinations, second term examinations, preliminary examinations, and your university finals. So, if you're a last minute person, you might have to, if you can pull all nighters, if you can sit all night, go for the exam the next day, then that's a very easy way of covering backlogs. But I would say that you start studying consistently. As I said, consistency is key. But when it comes to university examinations, you get something known as a preparatory leave. Okay, that's around a few weeks before your university examinations. You have no lectures. Maybe you're only called to college once a week or something for journal work, for practical work. So in that preparatory leave, if you plan out your preparatory leave effectively, with ample timetables, with time management, effective time management, as I said, backlog will not be an issue. Can you join RC Medicrew if you get into a private college? Well, we have, as I said, you join MBBS, you join RC Medicrew. It goes synonymous. So, be it government, private, deemed, anything. In fact, if you go abroad, you can join RC Medicrew. We have members abroad as well. So how to stay motivated throughout the course? Okay, I think that's something even we are trying to find. Okay, motivation is something we all look we all try to find in every phase of life. So as I said, consistency is key, and interest is something that you should keep up. You should keep up with the latest affairs, whatever is happening, and that's how you can stay motivated. How does doing medicine from interior of Maharashtra and from the city like Mumbai make a difference? Well, academically, it makes no difference, because you'll see a lot of interior Maharashtra colleges have a lot more patient inflow than maybe Mumbai colleges. And if you see Mumbai colleges like KEM and all, they also have a lot of patient inflow. So academically, it makes no difference. And for the extra academic part, what that's extracurriculars and research. For that, we are there. At RC Medicru, we can help you with whatever you want. In 2 weeks, you'll give the link to join as member. You'll get the link to join as a member as soon as you join a medical college. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be launching for you guys, especially for you guys, we'll be launching the link to apply as Avenue chairs. Be an intern at the world's largest, the world's #1 club. That's RC Medical. Is NEET PG 2 a rat race like NEET UG? Definitely. I really want to say that I don't want to make any comments, but it sure is. It's actually a bigger rat race, because in NEET UG you're applying for colleges which have like 100 seats, 200 seats, 250 seats. But in NEET PG, you're applying for colleges which have like, specialty courses which are like 2 seats, 3 seats, maybe 5 seats, 10 seats. So it's a bigger rat race. But I'm sure, as I said, consistency is key. How much do we have to pay for becoming a member of the club? Okay, so when you become the member of the club, we have an early bird offer for you. That's 999, okay, which will be valid till the June of next year. That's June 2023, as my colleague Retractor Preritha Mittal said. So that's how you can become a member, and we'll be registering your names along with your college with international bodies, okay? And the Rotract is actually an international organization, okay? So we currently, some personal experience, we currently had a GBM wherein there were chief guests from the United States, Rotractor Howard Cohen from the Rotary International. So when you tell them that, you're a part of RC Medicru, which is the world's largest organization, it makes a difference. Which state is better for MBBS, Telangana or Maharashtra? Well, Aditi, I am from Maharashtra myself, but we do know a lot of people in Telangana. We do know a lot of people in Andhra Pradesh. We do a lot of projects in south of India. As I said, whatever college you go for MBBS, it doesn't matter. Academically, you'll be in the same boat as every single person with you right now. But what matters, what would differentiate you as a great student from a good student is your extracurriculars and research. Don't the projects and becoming a member interfere with MBBS studies? As I said, time management is key. So a lot of our projects happen, when you're free. It happens on holidays, in maybe on weekends. So I actually organized multiple techs, okay, numerous techs for RC Medicru, for our colleges. I won, even my colleagues here won multiple awards, okay. So we were recognized by international bodies. So it doesn't play a difference. It doesn't have any major difference if you only remember time management is key. Where do we purchase the books in Mumbai from? So there are multiple bookstores, okay, in and around Parel. So I think in Parel you have a lot of bookstores, and I think, well, if you look at it, one way to look at it is you can actually buy books from your seniors as well, because most of them don't have any work of, with the books that they'll be having. So you can buy it from them, you can rent it from them, you can buy bone sets, you can rent bone sets. So it all depends on your seniors. Okay. Are you guys financially independent during? Yeah, definitely. So we have, at RC Medicru, we actually have, if any of you all are interested in finances, we have a core position known as the treasurer or the chairman finance. If you want to learn more about finance, if you want to, really be out there as, someone who's a finance guy, apart from, just being a medical person, then you can apply to be a treasurer, you can apply to be a chairman of finance. Dr. Kunal, do we have any other questions from YouTube?
No, not from YouTube.
Right. So various CAs and business person teach us about it. You're totally covered here. That's true. Well, we'll keep the chat box open for another couple of minutes and then we'll be closing the session. Yes, Anushka, we'll be sending the link. Okay, Chairman of Finance, I think Adit, if you want to switch on your camera, let me try to change the settings and allow you to unmute.
Retractor me, there's a question in the chat box.
Right.
Is there any specific achievement for which you can apply as an avenue position?
Well, I said, as I said, a specific achievement does not matter. Your enthusiasm, your plans, your vision matters. Okay, like I was always, someone who was interested in sports, but how can you be interested in something like professional development before joining? So, there something which comes into play is, your skills, your vision, your ability to talk to people, your ability to, be the best, I think I would like to say best version of yourself, during the interviews, during the Google forms, that matters. Okay, Adit, well, about Chairman of Finance. So, well, currently our Chairman of Finance is Rotractor Mohit Bhagia. Previously it was Rotractor Hiren, and of course before that, I would not go into too much history. But yeah, like if you're really interested in finance, if you want to do something, if you want to handle club affairs, if you want to actually be the person who decides, if you want to be the person in control of all the finances, this position is for you. How is USMLE different from Next PG? Okay. So USMLE has, as I said, it has two steps. Step one is a theoretical assessment, which only comprises of first year and second year subjects, whereas NEET next, or I would say let's talk about NEET PG. NEET PG is only MBBS subjects is 19 subjects. Well, talking about next phase one would be only final year subjects with vertical integrations. Now, USMLE step 2 and next phase 2 would be, now USMLE step 2, you have CSCK, which is clinical skills and clinical knowledge. Now, it was actually held in the US before, but with the start of the pandemic, they started conducting it online, the interviews and stuff. And next phase 2 is conducted after internship, which is basically a clinical assessment of your skills, that you learn during internship, like putting IV lines, putting catheters, putting central lines, bedside manners, talking to patients, etc. Thank you so much, Mandar. I hope you learned a lot. Which is okay. Okay, which is better, USMLE or NEET PG? I would say first, you should be sure where you want to stay. Okay, because if you want to go to the US, then definitely USMLE. If you want to do, if you want to pursue your masters, if you want to, do everything in India, then definitely NEET PG. Would you prefer PG in abroad or in India? It depends on the course. Now, what happens is if you want a surgical field, the US is not someone who, they don't prefer Asians to get surgical fields. But, Ikshita, if you are that brilliant, you might just be the game changer for us. So definitely, if you love clinical, a surgical field, definitely try for the US. Otherwise, in India, as there was a question above, it's a rat race. Everywhere else, it's the whole process is a lot more intensive. So you learn, as you pass through different MBBS years. So the roles of positions opening up, well, there are a lot of positions. I mean, we're a very, very, very big club. So, just to tell you some things, avenue chairs. Now there are avenues like sports, club service, PR and marketing. There are avenues like partners in service, editorials, digital communications, community service, professional development, international services, research and innovation, and human resource development. Okay, so these are some of the avenues you can be a part of as avenue chairs. Maybe you can apply for board of directors. So I think it's a very big scope to cover. When you join colleges, you will be getting a handbook of each, what exactly the position comprises. So I think you should look for that. does RC Medicrew help with startups even if members have completed MBBS? Well, definitely, if you completed MBBS, you can still be a part of RC Medicrew. You can be a PG member, and RC Medicrew helps you with startups because we connect you to international bodies, to district bodies. We have collaborations with the district. We have collaborations with people from different walks of life, different phases of life, and they might help you with startups. Can we start NEET, PG, and USMLE simultaneously, or is the preparation different? I would say if you want to start simultaneously, this is my tip for you. Give USMLE step 1 in the first half of third year. Okay, so you've done extremely well with your first and second year subjects, and then start focusing on your third year and final year subjects, so you can give NEET, PG, and secure a very good score as well. And if you want to pursue your masters in the US, then I think you can forgo NEET, PG, and focus on your CSCK. That's your step 2 of USMLE in the US. What are your thoughts about space medicine and astromed course? Well, so space medicine is something, it's extremely limited. I think up until last, or I think up until last year, they only selected around 5 to 6 people for space medicine. It's extremely limited, and I don't think anyone, if you're looking at NASA or something, they don't, up till now, the 5-6 people who have been selected for space medicine, they don't, none of them are Indians, none of them are, so, but if you definitely, as I said, if you are that brilliant, you can be the game changer. Maybe you can apply for ISRO. It's a really upcoming field. I think you should really pursue that. Is next compulsory for us? Well, if the next comes, it's going to be compulsory for everyone. Do we have to do internship from the same government college? Sure. Well, you can do internship from the same government college. That's the easy way out always. But 1% of students actually apply for externships. So externships is basically, interning at the hospital, not affiliated with your college. So one of my, close friends, he did his MBBS from BKL Valavalkar, and currently then he did an externship at Nanavati Hospital. So I would say if you have the contacts, if you have the CV, which we can help you with, then you can definitely apply for the externships and secure it. Okay, so MCCQE, that's the competitive exam for Canada. So when to start studying for it? So I don't actually personally, I'm not someone who's looking forward to Canada. So I don't think I'll be able to answer your question that well. But of course, we had multiple sessions on how to pursue masters in Canada. So you can be a part of that once you join college and then RC Medical. Could you talk about some of the successful research initiatives? Anything in Medtech? Rotractor Pratyush, would you like to take over?
Yeah, thank you, Meg. So answering a Rajshri question, I'll just read it once more. Could you talk about successful research initiatives of in Medtech or computational neurosciences? Okay, so we have a research group working on neurosciences, which is actually under the project Analytica, and it is like quite of because members are able to execute their own idea in computational neurosciences. We have collaborated with few organizations who specifically focuses on neurosciences, and to be very honest, computational neuroscience is very high, a little hi-fi research, because you need to have experience in MATLAB and these RMANs and all these softwares. And to be very honest, there are analysts who are working in this field, and we can collaborate with them. And once we collaborate with them, we are able to reach out, and we are also able to talk to them, and they are able to teach us on how we can a little bit about these softwares. Because to be honest, this is not in a lot in our domains, but of course, knowing the basis of MATLAB and these softwares which is used for computational neurosciences, it can be used. In fact, I believe that apart from these opportunities for in medtech or computational neurosciences, right? If I talk about medtech, we had a medtech startup challenge also, where we gave the opportunities to member to to bring out their own ideas about technology and how they can integrate with medicine. And to be very honest, I'll be very honest with you, this is a field which is very much growing and is very much engaging right now, because as you see, for example, COVID, the pandemic happened. Something we did was we made our own portal for healthcare, for a portal that was the COVID portal, in which we brought all the information of health facilities to be used for general public. And, we used a lot of technological support for that. And this is how, research and technology and medicine is integrating these days. There are applications where, this is able to help public health and a lot of things. And this is now in practice. Therefore, just for example, even the national guidelines of India have adopted few things. For example, there are these are, how technologies has been incorporated. They give reminders to patients to take their medicines on time. And for this field specifically, we collaborate with engineers and, analysts, and they help us doing this. But of course, if you want to learn computational neuroscience, I personally know a lot of people who are going in this field, who are pursuing their masters in computational neurosciences, and, more of inclined towards that field. So, it depends upon how, again, you want to go. And there are plenty of opportunities which you can, explore in this.
Okay, so to answer Kunika's question, how do we become a part of the international event of Seattle? Well, I actually have a very interesting answer for you. So, as I said multiple times, that we'll be registering you with international organizations, with international bodies. So they will actually, you can actually apply for, let's say the pandemic eases out, things get easier for us. We'll actually be conducting international exchanges, international academic exchanges, international cultural exchanges, international research exchanges. Now, when you apply for these international exchanges, the international bodies, as a Rotary International, they will fully sponsor your exchanges, whether you go to the US or UK, any other country, Russia, Poland, Australia, New Zealand, whatever you want. If you are that good, if you're that capable, if you can become a delegate at these international organizations, or basically international exchanges, the Rotary International will fully sponsor your international exchanges. These exchanges are through your college, as is represent. Well, these exchanges, we provide these exchanges at RC Medicru. As we said, as I said, we'll be registering you with international bodies, and they will, so they will pass on the message to us that, you can conduct international exchanges as things are easing out. The visa process gets easier, and we'll be passing on the message to you guys. So, keep an eye out for opportunities like these. And of course, we'll be doing a great level of promo for you guys, with institutional ambassadors. You can definitely apply. Well, Janvi, to add to your question, as I said, one of my colleagues, he's currently pursuing cardiology in the United Kingdom. Well, let's say he was a part of, an international offline exchange with the US. Maybe he would be at John Hopkins. Maybe you would be at John Hopkins someday. What's the difference between government and private colleges apart from fees? As I said, you do whether you do medical, whether you do MBBS from whichever college of India, whichever part of India, academics stay the same. What may differ is the patient inflow, but then there are again, really good private colleges which have a great amount of patient inflow. You have a lot more clinical exposure, so that's somewhere, or maybe you can say that government colleges like, probably KEM, if you're from Maharashtra, probably KEM or something, they have an immense patient inflow. So, these government colleges, you have tireless nights, you have, when you're in internship, your, this clinical approach might change, but as I said, academics stay the same. Dr. Kunal, do we have any questions on YouTube?
No, none.
Right. Is there good patient flow in deemed colleges? Okay, I'd like to give you an example. Well, MGM, Navi Mumbai, okay, it's a deemed college in Mumbai, okay, technically in Navi Mumbai, but it actually has more patient inflow than most private colleges. So this doesn't matter. The academics stay the same. How do you choose who you'll, who will sponsor you for the international exchange? Are there interviews? Yeah. So, Dr. Pratyush, would you actually, answer this question about being a delegate? Right. Okay. So I'll take over that question. So when you apply for these international exchanges, you first have to fill a Google form wherein you have to say why you want to apply for these exchanges, why you think you are capable of applying for these exchanges, and how you'll be representing our country, because we send extremely efficient, extremely capable people, which I'm sure you all are. So that's phase one. Then phase two would be an interview, which may be conducted by us, which may be conducted by international bodies. They'll see how you interact with people, how open you are, how how you'll develop bonds with medical students abroad. So yes, there is an interview round. Do you have any association where you can donate need related books? Actually, our editorials avenue might be planning something. Rotractor Alekha, would you like to answer that? Okay, so I think she's facing some technological issues. I'll just read out her answer. So yes, she says if you have enough, if we can get enough medical textbooks, then definitely they'll be doing NEET donation drives. Basically, which comprises of your NEET UG textbooks. Actually, SB, well, basically, if you choose to be an avenue chair, you can organize your own donation drive in whatever part of India you want, in maybe even multiple parts, multiple cities of India if you want. Okay, so I think that's the end of our Q&A session. If there are no more questions, we'd like to conclude this session. We'd like to conclude the Q&A session. We'd like to conclude the MBBS Life. I hope you all had a great time, and it was really fun interacting with you. We look forward to having you as our members, as a part of our teams. And maybe you can apply for BODs. You can apply for the core. Maybe we'll see you for international exchanges. Maybe we'll see you for community service camps. So thank you. All the best. And now we'll be ending the meeting. So thank you so much. For those of you all who haven't filled the the token of appreciation form, we'll be sending it out on WhatsApp as well. So make sure you fill it there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And we now conclude this meeting. You may leave.